If you love the 90mm Macro by Sony, it's impossible not to be excited about this new lens. The 100mm F2.8, and this is the first ever G Master Prime Macro. Before breaking down specs, I gotta say I never seen a lens be so sharp and so soft at the same time. I always loved the 90mm Macro also for the versatility, and this lens as well can be used of course for macro shots, but also for portraits in studio, and I think it can be a great wedding lens. It just gives you a different character and flavor from other lenses. The refined optic on this lens makes the image sharper corner to corner. It gives you a gorgeous bokeh, especially using those 11 blaze circular aperture unit. The spherical aberration are controlled, and the onion ring bokeh is totally suppressed. So those circles in the background are gonna be very sharp and pretty to the eye. The lens has 17 elements in 13 groups. And being a macro lens, Sony knows you will use it a lot in nature and in the elements. So all the seams are sealed, the buttons and the switches have silicone rubber gaskets, and the front element has a flooring coating that repels water and oil, while makes it easy to wipe off fingerprints. The G Master Macro has a 1.4 magnification. That means that it goes beyond what the naked eye can see. But what's great is that you can also add a teleconverter that will bring the magnification to 2.8. By looking at the shots, I just love how sharp your subject is and how soft and milky the background gets. That contrast is the indication how good a macro lens is. I've been using the 90mm for years, and I gotta say that I'm amazed how faster, more precise and quiet this new autofocus is. I think it was an overdue upgrade, especially working with these new cameras and how fast they are. So for stills, this lens is almost twice as fast. If you have the A9 III, the focus tracks up to 120 frames per second in burst mode. And even if you're shooting slow motion at 4K 120, the focus can track your subject. If you're familiar with macro lenses, you know that when you get very close to your subject, the focus can be a little clunky. And you can hear or feel the linear motors inside the lens going back and forth. Well, this new lens has 4 linear motors, and it really minimizes the movement of the mechanism. And this really helps in how fast, accurate the focus can be, even for extremely shallow macro depth of field. Also, this lens is designed to work with the optical steady shot in your Sony camera. So between the 5-axis image stabilization and the steady shot, you have an incredibly steady macro lens for both video and stills. On the lens you have 2 focus hold buttons, focus ring, mode switch, iris lock switch, aperture ring, aperture click switch, a DMF switch, a focus range limiter, and a steady shot switch. Also, you can easily and quick switch between manual and autofocus with a quick movement on the focus ring. Overall, a great update to a well-beloved lens. The 100mm f2.8 Macro GM is a beauty and a must-have for all the macro shooters out there. And in my opinion, even beyond that, wedding photographers, portrait photographers, filmmakers, there's so much that you can do with this lens. The resolution and the bokeh are beautiful. The autofocus was extremely improved, and with the teleconverter you can get incredible images at 2.8 magnification. Personally, I will sell my beloved 90mm and upgrade as soon as possible. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to Adorama TV, and I'll see you next time.